Hi, my name's Dan, and we're making this video here because we were inspired like 3 years ago by David Pagan Butler and the thought of having a organic swim pond, because my wife loves to swim and I like to make stuff. So this is just an impromptu of what to do, what not to do, and if you're thinking about having a pond, it's awesome, but you gotta like tinkering, you gotta like having failures, and so, but anyways, we dug this pond with a Gale VT320. It's an awesome track machine, and this end here is 3 feet deep, and then that's like 9 feet deep over there, and it's 7 foot wide, which is the width of the bucket. And pretty much I came down this way here when this was just raw land and shot a laser from here to there and just kept removing sand, and that machine just worked flawlessly. It was absolutely beautiful. So anyways, right here is our retaining wall, and on the right side here we're about a third of the way of putting the plants in, and you got to have a whole lot of friends and a whole lot of farmers that have ponds and stuff to get plants in, because that bog bean right there, that plant is $35, and so yeah, you got to get like nature. And so we wanted a natural pond, and these are all like winter hardy except for some taro and elephant ear way down there. You know, that will take out in the fall before winter freezes. So anyways, this is our small little beach here for safety. There's a choke point right here, so the little toddlers having a little harder time going into the 3 foot section here. And we cleaned up this. We wanted an infinity edge right there looking out over the wetland, but this material that we use is a reinforced polyethylene RPE liner. It's about 40 feet by 75 foot liner that we bought from some liner place on the East Coast. It was like a couple grand, but we didn't want to buy fill, so we got what we needed out of here and put the liner in. It's either buy fill and have no pond, or get the fill and have a pond. So anyways, on the right here I got 3 bubblers, and from those bubblers to the right of the bubbles there's a 4 foot pipe, and then that 4 inch pipe ends about right here under the pea gravel, and that's about 2 feet deep out there, and it goes down to maybe 8 inches here. And then from this pipe here off to the left and off to the right here, there's 3 inch corrugated pipe, which was a mistake. I shouldn't have used corrugated, because in the corrugation every little wrinkle in it traps a little bit of air, and so what happens is they're starting to, the frogs are they're not happy to see me. Whoa, the big guy right here, he's not happy to see me. But anyways, they're starting to come up out of the gravel. So the corrugated 3 inch I bought because I was cheap, and it was cheap to buy, and that wasn't a good idea. And so between that bubbler and that bubbler, there's a 3 inch pipe like this, and it connected in the middle, you know, like right about there, it connected. But then that bubbler would start bubbling, and it would draw through that pipe there, water down through that pipe, and then it would go reverse down that way, and then all the water and air would go across this way and then come out of here. Well, then this pipe underneath here then it would be filled full of air, and then it would come out of the thing here. So you're probably better off maybe going with like a 2 inch PVC with a whole bunch of holes drilled into it. But anyways, these here have holes, I don't know, a 1/4 inch hole every foot or so. And one mistake I did was on the top of it, I didn't drill any holes because I didn't want pea gravel and sand getting in there. Well, then when it's trapped full of air, well, there's no way for the air to escape, so it just lifted it out of the surface. So the point is that if you want something perfect, that's going to be just absolutely perfect, then you probably want to hire somebody to do it, because they'll do it and they'll do it really good. But like I said, I like making stuff, so this is my project. But anyways, this is water hyacinth. We found out that it's an invasive species and stuff after we put it in, and the reason this is dead is because we put some crystoplex in here to control algae, and that is like the #1 problem that we've had on this, which is getting better, but controlling algae is going to be the biggest problem right now. What happens is this mat of algae will start like decomposing. The algae underneath the top algae starts dying, then it starts getting air bubbles in it, and then a big chunk about a foot in diameter would break off and float up and go into the swim zone over here. And so there's some over here, and then we got to put a skimmer in over here. And then we got a whole bunch of, that's like 9 feet deep down there, and we got a whole bunch of carpeted, weighted pipes that we take from the shallow end, and then we drag it down to the deep end here, and then we've got an airlift bubble thing coming out to here, and that there then will pull up pretty much anything, pea gravel, sand, dead fish, leeches, whatever, they'll just all come out of the muck. And one thing what you want to do is control the muck in the swimming zone. And the trees over it is what we wanted, but it makes it a little bit more dirty. So if you want something that's perfectly clean, get yourself a chlorine pool and swim in chlorine. But if you want something that you come out here and feed crickets to the frogs, and like this plant right here, I just dug up from the wetland over there, and we're going to be getting rid of the water hyacinth here. It's nice, and it really filters the water good, and it takes care of the algae. It's like there's no algae here, but it's an invasive species and stuff. So, but anyways, this is an act of God right here. I think that what he wanted was more sand and gravel into the pond and make this a little bit more woody. So we had a hard rain up there, and it washed it all in there one day. And at first I was kind of like, oh, my pond. But now I think it's a blessing. So, like this plant right here, $6. So, without a good source of plants, a pond this big is not a good idea. But if you just want to come out here and feed crickets to frogs, just listen to the bubbles, it's awesome. So anyways, a lot of these pipes that I buried in here that were a mistake, I corrected, and I drilled holes in them, put baffles in, and made them smaller pipes. So it's good now. But yeah, and one thing that you definitely want to account for is evaporation. We're up in Wisconsin, and we've had this hose running since probably 10 o'clock this morning just to get this thing up 1.5 inches. And it's like 4 in the afternoon now. So if you got city water and you're paying for water, you probably don't want to have a pond this big. Sweetheart, you got anything to add? No? Oh yeah, she doesn't like snakes. So, so yeah, every once in a while you get a snake in here, but
not in there.
Well, she doesn't know about the snakes being in the pond, but anyways, with all this vegetation here, the snakes come in and they try to find stuff to eat. They're just garden snakes, so it is no big deal. But all together, it's definitely a project worth doing. And if you got any questions or whatever, just leave a comment. And yeah, that's about it.